Maayong hapon Sugbo, Kabisayan, Mindanao, Pilipinas ug tibuok kalibutan. Maayong hapon kanatong tanan mga kasibya. Nanasagta sa laing adlaw Sabado ug lain na sa dingahigayon aron magkat-on ta sa pagpalambo sa atong tagsa-tagsa ka negosyo. Sangan sa makaubanan sa Department of Labor Employment, kauban sad ang USC-KNN ug kita dinhi sa Sibya TV. Ako si Angie, Saniel ug welcome sa laing episode sa atong tulumanon Mag-Negosyo Ta Bai. Magkat-on na sabta mga kapamilya o mga kasibya sa lain na po nato nga hilisgutanan karong hapon na pinaagi na sa atong lain-lain nga social media platforms. Akong sublion, palihog kog follow o like sa atong page sa Facebook sa Sibya TV o sa YouTube channel pod nato Sibya TV aron mahatagan mog update sa uban nato nga mga tulumanon and of course sa ato ang mga episodes dinhi sa Mag-Negosyo Ta Bai. Sa nakalabay nga mga semana sa pagsugod sa buwan sa Hulyo daghan kay tag nakatunan kalabot ni sa pagnegosyo. I hope mapadayon ni nato pinaagi sa inyo sad nga pagsubay ug pagpaminaw sa ato ang mga episodes. So karong hapon ana sad tay laing topic, hopefully anda mo nga maminaw ug welcome sa ato ang bisita kay first time niya sa pag-uban pod nato dinhi sa atong tulumanon. Apan sa di pa nato siya maila-ila mga kasibya, ato sa pod nga welcome ato makaubanan dinhi sa USC-KNN. Apil na ang ato ang mga KNN winners. Atong unahon si Ma'am Carmen Pyramide. Ma'am Carmen, maayong hapon.
May hapon sa tanan, hapit na mahuman ang atong tunga sa tuig, no? Ang nahuman atong tunga sa tuig.
Yes.
On our second half of the year, pero despite of the pandemic, nagsigit patagkat. So, makaminaw mo maayo karong hapon na, haron makakat-o na sa makadungag ni sa inyo ang mga nakatunan.
Thank you kay Ma'am Carmen. Ug kauban sa di Ma'am Carmen, of course, si Sir Devin go. Sir Devin, maayong hapon.
Maayong hapon, Angie. Maayong hapon, mga kasibya. Welcome to Mag-Negosyo Ta Bai program. Yeah, once again, ato invite on mga tao nga mo-appeal sa KNN Season 16. So, sa kanong text, kung pwede sila mo-text sa 0917-322-0868 or pwede sila mo-chat sa akong messenger, Devin Do. So, anytime, no? Nagdawag kita mga applicants, nagsigi sa tao distribute na sa mga grants sa season 16.
Thank you kayo Sir Devin. So atong gi-invite again ang ato ang mga tigpaminaw kung kamo di mo ganang mo appeal for season 16. Please invite kini mga nang inahanglan kay nato nga mga kasibya, maybe they want to start their business. Gawa silang pagpaminaw sa itong mga episodes din mo. Appeal good sila sa ika-16 nato nga season sa USC-KNN. Gikan sa itong makaubanan nga officers from USC-KNN, ani na punta sa itong mga KNN winners. Ato silang pangumustahon. So, paila-ila mo balik kay ilabi na nga ato ang bisita karon yung teacher karong hapon. Bago maning makaila-ila ninyo. So, hatag lang mong gamay nga background sab aron makahatag og ideya kalabot sa inyong negosyo. Akong unahon si Ma'am Lorena. Ma'am Lorena, maayong hapon.
Maayong hapon, Ma'am Angie, o sa tanan nga maminaw karon ani atong mga katulumanon kasibya TV. Ni anasad ko si Lorena, ang akong negosyo kay cakes and pastry.
Thank you kay Ma'am Lorena. Maybe later mapakita na itong mga samples pa na sa mga products ni Ma'am Lorena. Kaya naman kay mga hulagway ani. Yang lamian kay nga cakes and pastries. Thank you Ma'am Lorena. Gikan Ma'am Lorena, ato pong pangumustahon si Sir Chris Sapong. Sir Chris, maayong hapon.
Hi, good afternoon sa mga atong mga kasipya nga naminaw karon. Ma'am Carmen, Sir Devin, Miss Angie, thank you kayo for the opportunity no kanuna gyud mi ninyong i-invite nun para mo join sa ato ang mga learnings online, and we're also I am also excited no maminaw sa ato ang topic karon. And I would like also to invite no ang mga naminaw sa pagbisita sa ako ang online store no mytindahan.net.
Okay, so pwede na ninyo i-check ang maong siya Facebook page na po yung website si Sir Boyet. Thank you kay Sir Boyet. Gikan ni Sir Boyet pangumustahon sad nato si Ma'am Remedios Barakil. Ma'am Remedios, maayong hapon.
Maayong hapon, ma'am. Maayong hapon sa tanan ni Ma'am Carmen, Sir Devin, Miss Angie. ug sa atong speaker karon na si Sir Julius. Ako si Remedios, ang akong business is shumay ug kakanin, ma'am.
Siomay ug kakanin ang lamian nga produkto ni Ma'am Remedios. So hopefully ma'am makatabang ni ang ato ang nga topic for this afternoon. Thank you kayo for joining us, Ma'am Remedios. So kung nakay question, ay lang gyud ka pagduha-duha, ma'am. Pangutana karong taon-taon. Thank you. Gikan ni Ma'am Remedios, ani pud ta sila pero tong sugi nga kauban din sa ato ang mga online episodes. Maayong hapon ni Ma'am Sandria. Ma'am Sandria, maayong hapon. Ma'am Sands, na-mute.
Yes. May hapon, Ma'am Angie, Ma'am Carmen, Sir Devin, ug sa ato ang speaker, si Sir Julius, ug sa tanang mga Kasibia TV. Ang akong negosyo karon is kanang mga pasalubong, and then na ako'y additional karon nga kanang I'm into catering na sa events and styles. Mao na siya, ma'am, og nagpuno pug ko og mga delicacies.
Okay. Nadyo ni bago si Ma'am Sandria kung siya i-guest na to din sa atong tulumanon. Thank you kayo. Later ma'am, pag-aimig dugang information about anang nadugang pod sa imong business.
Yes, ma'am.
Ayos, si Ma'am Sandria Kadosali, lain pod nato nga USC-KNN winner. Maragwa na ko nalimtan, mga kasibya. So, kani sila karong taod-taod muhatag og update kalabot sa ilang tagsa-tagsa pod ka business aron masayod na ta kung kumusta sila bisan taliwa karon sa pandemya. But alang sa tanan nato nga mga nagtanaw ug naminaw sa atong social media platforms, and of course sa atong mga winners nga kauban nato karon dinhi sa Zoom, andama na sa inyo nga mga papel din, yung mga notebook, yung mga ballpen, alang sa lain na po dato nga discussion this afternoon. So sa way pagdaduha magkasibya ato nang welcome bago ni nato nga miyembro, first time niya nga makauban nato dinhi sa Mag-Negosyo Ta Bai ug sa USC-KNN, atong i-welcome si Sir Julius Relampagos. Iyang hisgutan ang Sustainable Business and Sustainability Reporting. Sir?
Maayong hapon sa tanan, Ma'am Carmen, Ma'am Remedios, Ma'am Sandria, Sir Devin, Ma'am Lorena, Sir Chris, o Ma'am Angie. Nalipay ko na na-attend ko sa inyong programa karong adlaw.
Again, Sir Julius, welcome sa ato ang tulumanon, and if ready na gid ka, sir, you can start
Sige.
your marag discussion klase ni nato dinhi sa atong online platform.
Yes. Kaning akong presentation karong hapon, actually partly sa materials na akong gitulo sa among PhD BA program. So think of yourself as, like you are pursuing a PhD studies in business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Work advance kayo na. So,
Doctorate na data,
ang
Angie.
inaw gid tarong
Yes.
ako na.
But unless ang material is, I simplified it na masabtan sa tanan. And then if you have any questions or clarification, I will be happy to answer any questions you may have later on. Okay? Sige.
Yes,
So okay na ko, ma'am?
Yes, you may share, sir.
Alright.
Smiling kay si Sir Boyot da maraganahan kay siya mo PhD.
Okay.
PhD na siya.
Oh.
Sige.
We can see your slides na, Sir Julius. Reminder
Okay.
lang sa DI sa atong mga viewers and listeners, sa di pa ta mag-start. Later na atay mga questions after sa discussion ni Sir Julius. So, hatag natin sa pangutana, kung naminaw mo karon, mahatagan mo sa atong papremyo. So, palihog ko, pay attention, ug maminaw kita pag-ayo sa i-discuss si Sir Julius. Sir Julius.
Ma'am Angie, kung akong in-mute akong kaugalingon, will it affect the sound of my presentation? Di man tingali.
Dili ra, sir. Dili ra.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Pwede na ka mag-mute, sir. Then, basta i-share sound lang to ang imong presentation.
Sige, ako nang i-play akong PowerPoint.
Okay.
A pleasant day to all. I am Dr. Julius Relampagos, a faculty member of the School of Business and Economics, your resource speaker for today's theme, which is on sustainable business and sustainability reporting. Today's topic is timely and relevant as businesses continue to face the challenges brought about by the current global health pandemic that raises questions about the ability of businesses to overcome external shocks, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. While there is no such thing as a 100% effective business protection from external shocks, somehow a business's preparedness and strength could lessen the impact of such disruptions on business operations. Understanding the concept and framework of a sustainable business allows a business owners to identify strengths and weaknesses in dealing with an external shock. And through sustainability reporting, business owners are also able to identify opportunities that may help them go through change and transition to survive global business interruptions brought about by quarantines and lockdowns. The objectives of today's presentation are twofold. One, to introduce the concept of sustainability as part of educating business owners in promoting best practices in business operations and decision making. And two, to help business owners understand the value of sustainability reporting. This is the outline of my presentation today. The first three items deal with defining and explaining the various concepts and pillars of sustainability. I will then go through the principles of sustainable business and then explain the importance of using sustainable business indicators and sustainability reporting for business entities. The term sustainability is described by various concepts and concerns over the use of natural resources to sustain business environment that affect the welfare of both the current and future generations. I have summarized some points in this slide that drive the pursuit of sustainability in business. Sustainability is driven by ethical concerns for future generations and the environment that need to be incorporated in current business decision making. It is also driven by economic concerns in which resources, both natural and human-made, are managed to maintain production opportunities for the future and in which consumption of goods and services is non-declining through time. It is also driven by the environmental concerns in which the natural capital stock is non-declining through time or is preserved to ensure that future generations are at least as well off as the current generations. And finally, sustainability is driven by the ecological discussions on the minimum conditions for ecosystem resilience through time. The discussion on sustainability is grounded on the understanding of the different types of resources or capital that can be used to improve the overall welfare of individuals and society, both in the present and future generations. There are mainly four types of capital that are often mentioned in defining sustainability, as well as the concept of sustainable development, which I will discuss in a few minutes. The first type of capital is the natural capital. This includes aquifers and water systems, fertile land, energy and mineral resources, forests, fisheries, and the Earth's atmosphere itself. The second type of capital is the physical or manufactured capital. This includes plant, equipment, buildings, and other infrastructure accumulated by devoting part of current production to capital investment. The third type of capital is human capital. This includes stocks of learned skills embodied in particular individuals, which enhances the productive potential of these people. And the last type of capital is intellectual or social capital. This includes these embodied skills and knowledge, which we might otherwise call the state of technology. These skills are disembodied in that they do not reside in particular individuals, but are part of the culture of a society. In defining sustainability, these four types of capital are grouped into natural capital and human-made capital. Human-made capital would include the physical or manufactured capital, human capital, and intellectual or social capital. The different types of capital discussed in the previous slide allows us to understand the two arguments about sustainability: the argument of the weak sustainability and the argument of strong sustainability. Weak sustainability argues that human-made capital can substitute natural capital to maintain a sustainable state. On the other hand, strong sustainability argues that human-made capital and natural capital are complementary but not interchangeable to maintain a sustainable state. The difference between these two sustainability arguments is best illustrated by the diagrams in the next slide. And before I forget, in terms of association with the two arguments, economists tend to align with the weak sustainability argument, while ecologists tend to align with the strong sustainability argument. The concept of weak sustainability is an idea within environmental economics, which states that human-made capital can substitute natural capital. In the weak sustainability diagram, human-made capital is represented by the economy and society, while natural capital is represented by nature. Under weak sustainability, the overall stock of human-made capital and natural capital remains constant over time. It is important to note that unconditional substitution. So the question now is, how would a sustainable world look like? This diagram shows what needs to be taken into consideration in making business decisions. As business owners, it is important to understand the pillars of sustainability, which ideally should guide business decisions to deliver the best outcome for the business, the environment, and society. The three pillars of sustainability are the environment, the economy, and society. Let me now explain some of the basic notions of a sustainable system, given the three pillars, starting with the economic pillar. An economically sustainable system must be able to produce goods and services on a continuing basis to maintain manageable levels of debt and to provide adequate income to the workforce. As business owners, the profitability of your business is important to ensure, first, the economic survival of your company. But pursuing profit as the only objective without regard to how your business decisions will affect the environment and society will not be sustainable. For example, there are environmental laws and regulations governing waste disposal and management. Part of being sustainable is your business's ability and commitment to comply with these environmental regulations. Otherwise, your business operations may be at risk. As business owners, having a mindset of being conscious and aware of the environmental consequences of your business decisions may help you to realign your company's mission and vision to meet the conditions of sustainable business. The next pillar is environmental. An environmentally sustainable system must maintain a stable resource base, avoiding overexploitation of renewable resource systems or environmental sink functions, and depleting non-renewable resources only to the extent that investment is made in adequate substitutes. This includes maintenance of biodiversity, atmospheric stability, and other ecosystem functions not ordinarily classed as economic resources. As business owners, you may want to ask some of these questions. Where do I source or get my raw materials? What was the effect on the environment and society when these raw materials were made and delivered to my business? Does my supplier have a good track record in terms of ethical sourcing of products and services? Does my business have a green procurement policy? Does my business have a recycling policy? Does my business dispose of hazardous and contaminated waste properly according to local and national regulations? Does my business operation have low carbon footprint? And so on. So the list of questions go on depending on your level of awareness and commitment to the environment when making business decisions. The last pillar is social. A socially sustainable system must achieve fairness in distribution and opportunity, adequate provision of social services including health and education, gender equity, and political accountability and participation. As business owners, do you allow diversity in your workforce? Do you help motivate and improve the welfare of your employees, which in return is good for business? Do you comply with regulations against discrimination, and so on? Knowing the three pillars of sustainability guide business owners in identifying strengths that could promote sustainability or weaknesses that could hamper sustainability in your company. One might ask, what is then the difference between sustainable development and sustainability? Sustainability is often thought of as a long-term goal, for example, a more sustainable world, while sustainable development refers to the many processes and pathways to achieve it. For example, sustainable agriculture and forestry, sustainable production and consumption, good government, research and technology transfer, education and training, and so on and so forth. An important component of this presentation is to help business owners understand the concept of sustainability, the difference between sustainability and sustainable development. The two terms are not exactly the same. One denotes an end state, and the other denotes a pathway to an end state. So, as mentioned, the term sustainability represents a dynamic equilibrium end state, while the term sustainable development represents the pathway to a sustainable end state. In 1987, the World Commission on Environment and Development sought to address the problem of conflicts between environment and development goals by formulating a definition of sustainable development. Sustainable development is the overarching paradigm of the United Nations. The concept of sustainable development was described in the 1987 Brundtland Commission report as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. There are four dimensions to sustainable development: society, environment, culture, and economy, which are intertwined, not separate. Sustainability is a paradigm for thinking about the future in which environmental, societal, and economic considerations are balanced in the pursuit of an improved quality of life. For example, a prosperous society relies on a healthy environment to provide food and resources, safe drinking water, and clean air for its citizens. The term sustainability is particularly likely to be used by academics and some non-government organizations in the context of the capacity of mankind to survive in dynamic equilibrium with the environment. On the other hand, the term sustainable development is generally used by businesses and governments, which emphasizes the process by which economic growth fosters development. As pointed out earlier, sustainable development is a pathway that is defined by the 17 Sustainable Development Goals as shown in this slide. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015, provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet, now and into the future. At its heart are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs, which are an urgent call for action by all countries, developed and developing, in a global partnership. These countries recognize that ending poverty and other deprivations might go hand in hand with strategies that improve health and education, reduce inequality, and spur economic growth, all while tackling climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests. One might ask the question, what would the world be like if business processes, practices, and decision-making are unsustainable? This picture conveys a strong message of what will happen to our world when unsustainable business decision-making leads to overexploitation of natural resources, overproduction, and overconsumption of goods and services, which could result in the generation of too much waste and pollution, causing environmental damage that affects the physical health of the ecosystem as well as the physical health of humans. The challenges of unsustainable business behavior gave rise to the discussion of sustainable business model, which really integrates conventional business model, the concept of sustainability, Here are some principles of sustainable business. I'm sorry, ibang deadline na makita ba siya sa screen?
Julius?
I think we can restart in this slide, no? Okay, Rani? Kaning sa What would the world be like if business processes, practices, and decision making are unsustainable?
You
Ma'am
may-
Angie, sa inyong recording, asa nagsugod tong kwan, katong na red line? Would you be able to tell?
Pero, sige, diretso lang, sir. I think okay ra. Anhin na lang ta sa katong na ay diagram, sir, if possible.
Sige.
Oo.
Sige. Wait lang ha.
So,
Challenges of unsustainable business behavior gave rise to the discussion of sustainable business model, which really integrates conventional business model, the concept of sustainability, and the willingness of businesses to adapt to change and transition to overcome unsustainable business practices, processes, and decision making. This slide shows a very simplistic yet functional approach to the concept of sustainable business model. To arrive at a sustainable end state, your business must embrace the pillars of sustainability in your business decision making and must be open to change, to transition from unsustainable business practices to sustainable business practices. If you like, we can call this simple equation the formula on how to make your company a sustainable business. In the next slide, we will go over some of the principles of sustainable business. Here are some principles of sustainable business. The business supports the sustainable development goals. It is profitable. It is charitable. It is transparent. It is able to form strategic partnerships with other businesses and stakeholders. There is diversity, openness, and ability to match cycles to weather external shocks. In assessing and measuring aspects of sustainability in your business, sustainable business indicators, or SBIs, are often used by business owners to determine the extent of sustainability in their business decision making, business practices, and business processes. The goals of the SBIs are as follows: to monitor and evaluate effectiveness of goals and targets of sustainable business, to communicate to diverse stakeholders, to compare actions and performance of firms, and to promote brand and reputation of the business. SBIs are grouped into three categories according to the pillars of sustainability. The environmental SBIs consist of environmental impacts related to an organization's diverse activities, products, and services. These environmental indicators should be identified in all stages of the organization's full life cycle because they are used to track environmental progress, support environmental policy evaluation, and inform the public. Examples of environmental SBIs include energy and water consumption, air pollution, solid and hazardous waste production. The economic SBIs include the organization's economic values and performance that are explained by economic indicators. The economy provides solutions and methods to invest in protecting the environment and conservation of natural resources, as well as to sustain society. So examples of economic SBIs include annual profits and sales, research and development investment, fines, capital investment, share values, or annual returns. The social SBIs are related to wider responsibilities that business has to communities with which it operates and to society in general, including both present and future generations. Examples of social SBIs include the business's community engagement activities, sponsorships to social and community programs like scholarships and trainings, donations to charitable organizations, and so on. The final topic for today's session is on sustainability reporting and its value for businesses. The Philippine Securities and Exchange Commission's guidelines on sustainability reporting for publicly listed companies defines sustainability reporting as follows. It is an organization's practice of reporting publicly on its significant economic, environmental, and/or social impacts in accordance with globally accepted standards. This enables an organization to measure and monitor its contributions towards achieving the targets of sustainability. Especially for large corporations and big businesses, the Philippine Securities and Exchange Commission has set out a set of guidelines in preparing a sustainability report with the following objectives. 1. Make sustainability reporting relevant and value-adding to your business. 2. Help businesses identify, evaluate, and manage their EESG, or the economic, environmental, social, and governance risks and opportunities. 3. Help businesses optimize business operations, improve competitiveness, and achieve long-term success. And 4. Provide a mechanism for businesses to communicate with their stakeholders, including investors. It is important for businesses to understand the purpose and framework to follow in sustainability reporting to make such a reporting meaningful, relevant, and timely. In preparing such a report, it is essential that businesses understand both the internal and external benefits of sustainability reporting. Through sustainability reporting, companies are able to evaluate their vision and strategy, examine their current management systems, identify strengths and weaknesses, and then look at employee motivation programs that align with sustainable business practices and processes promoting sustainability. These are some of the internal benefits of sustainability reporting. In terms of external benefits, sustainability reporting promotes the company's reputation and trust within the community and the industry, attracts funding and capital infusion from investors and other sources, positions the company's competitive advantage, and then allows company to communicate and engage with stakeholders involving major decisions. This is why the trend now is for companies to also prepare sustainability reporting documentation in addition to financial reports as part of their annual reporting system. I would like to end my presentation today by posing the following questions to our audience. Is your company a sustainable business? Does your decision-making initiate business practices that lead to long-term environmental, social, and economic benefits? Does your operation pursue and exploit opportunities that create shared value, that is, value for both the business and for society? And does your company's mission and vision encompass goals and targets that actively contribute to the balance in the economic, social, and environmental aspects and dimensions being past, present, and future, taking into account the system of the company and the interests of its stakeholders. Thank you for listening to my presentation today. I hope that you have learned something about sustainable business and sustainability reporting. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding my presentation. Have a pleasant day.
So, thank you very much, Sir Julius. Moto'y kinatibuk-an nga topic ni Sir Julius for this afternoon. Sir, napakay ganan i-add before we cater questions gikan sa atong mga kauban.
I think not at the moment, but I'll be happy to answer any questions or clarifications they may have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're interested, and if the audience is interested with the copy of the presentation, feel free to share it with them.
okay. Thank you kayo, ana Sir Julius. Sa ato sa siguro hatagag higayon ato ang mga kaubanan din sa atong Zoom meeting if na may questions. Ma'am Lorena, Ma'am Remedios, Ma'am Sandria, og si Sir Chris. So may ganang mauna.
Angie, good afternoon.
Maayong hapon,
Yes.
Sir Boyet.
Sir Julius, may hapon na.
I'm happy, sir.
Ako'y gamay nga pangutana ba for mga startups nga mga SMEs kanang gusto nga especially karon no nga natas kalisod no nasa gimmick madaghan maguna-una nga go into business ba. Ang kaning ato ang sustainability business development ba, Sir Julius, from the start pa no nga maguna-una ka kung unsa nga business imuhang sudlan, imo na ba nang una-unaon daan or ang kasagaran man gud nato no if kwanta nga magsugot ang negosyo mo dive in na din ta ba. So ako lang Sir Julius no unsay benefits kung ato ning atong i-appeal na daan ang kaning sustainability development sa pagsugod pa lang, Sir.
Salamat sa question nimo, Sir Chris. Usually, kanang magsugod as business, di ba naman tayo gitawag na plan or feasibility study, no? To find out if our business or if your proposed business is going to be successful. Now, ideally, mas maayo gyud sa sinugdanan pa lang, you have to start looking at the impact of your proposed business, not only on the economic, but also on the environment and on the society. That's why kaning sustainability reporting, there's no 100% guarantee that any company doing sustainability reporting will be successful. However, sustainability reporting will help the company position itself to meet the challenges of the future, challenges in terms of mga pandemic. So a lot of the businesses now, they struggle to survive because they did not foresee that this will happen. No one thought that there's going to be a lockdown or quarantine. And as a result, it affected business operations. So the challenge was the companies did not know how to respond to these challenges. However, if they have prepared from the beginning, during this feasibility study, and in part of their feasibility study, they've also included contingency plans, they've also included sustainability reporting, somehow this preparation will help lessen the impact of interruptions on business operations. So, in your case, I've noticed that kasagaran sa inyo, you are pursuing more or less personal business. Am I correct to say that, no? So really, your concern was to be able to sell something, which is not bad because that's basically the core of doing business, to be able to sell something, to be able to earn from this activity. But you may want to ask, okay, I'm selling food items. So perhaps one of the questions you can ask is, asa man magikan ang mga materials na gigamit nako to make these food items? Okay, so perhaps you may find out that ang nagbaligya nimo raw material naggamit og child labor. For example, employing children as young as 7, 8, 9 years old. Now, in the Philippine setting, it may sound okay. Maragway problema, no?
That's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah. However, if your business grows and at some stage, maybe you will start selling your product overseas, for example, to Europe. If European countries find out that you are using child labor, they will not let your products in. So you will not be able to export or sell your products to certain countries that prohibit the use of child labor. Okay? So, of course, right now, ang ato mong business kasagaran ginagmay ra bitaw. So we don't think along this line. But don't you want to expand your business someday? Don't you want to grow your business? So knowing these things allows you to prepare your business to face the challenges of global health pandemics, the challenges of new government regulations, the challenges of international standards. So, mas maayod yun kung sa sigdugdanan pa lang, we start looking into how you can make your business sustainable, no matter how small it is. Because remember, if your business is sustainable, it's also part of you can promote it as part of your branding and reputation, right? So, musulti ka na ako ang gibaligya. Can you give me an example of a product that you sell sa atong audience?
Kani si Ma'am Lorena sir kay cakes and pastries. Yeah.
Okay, cakes and pastries. So ang raw materials nimo ma'am, ikaw nag-bake ma'am, no? Sa cakes ug sa pastry.
Please go on sa imong mic, Ma'am Lorena.
Yes, sir. Ako nag-bake, sir.
Okay. So, ang imong raw material, for example, ma'am, is ang flour,
sugar,
sugar, no? So, first, you would want to, so kani mga products nimo ma'am, they all come from agricultural production, right? So,
yes.
First, you may want to ask ma'am, no? So, kani nipalit ko flour, sugar, butter, milk, cheese. So, pangutana is, kani mga dairy farmers who produce the flour, the sugar,
May daghan mapalit.
did they get paid fairly? For example, did they receive the fair share of the products of the flour, the sugar, and the butter? Okay, if the farmers have been exploited, that is what we call unfair trade. Again, if your business, Ma'am Lorena, for example, kanimong cakes and pastries, mudako ni siya, and at some stage you may find that you will have to start exporting or selling to other countries. If other countries, they may have a standard, like, okay, kanimong mga cakes and pastries, did this product use materials from fair trade? Like for example, ma'am, are you familiar with Bose coffee?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, are you familiar with Starbucks? No. So, you're familiar with, mas pa may mga brand nila sa coffee, right?
Okay.
When I buy my coffee, ang akong pangutana, ang ako dahil tanawon, ang logo sa fair trade. A fair trade is an international accepted practice or standard, which means that if the coffee beans na ay logo na fair trade, it means that the farmers who produce the coffee receive the fair share of the payment for the coffee beans. Also, the logo ensures that in the production of the coffee beans, there was no child labor or child exploitation. Okay? So which means, therefore, if I'm going to sell coffee, I will tell them that I'm using coffee from fair trade. So it's part of my reputation. I can promote it as part of my business. And people who are buying coffee now will know that you are a very responsible business owner because you are very selective when it comes to sourcing your raw materials. So this kind of question about fair trade, ensuring that there's no child labor, this will fall under the social aspect
Social.
of sustainability. That's
Mm.
why, even though gamay ang inyong business, but you can always find an opportunity to promote your brand, to promote your business by emphasizing that your business is sustainable. Yeah, I hope that answers the question, Sir Chris. Sa imong kwan.
Yes, Ma'am Carms?
Maybe sa ilahat tingaling side, no, at this point in time, murag layo na mo kayo ng mangita liyo ka sa source sa imong flour or sa source sa imong kanang ingredients nimo. Tingali, the nearest, the thing that they could practice would be kana lang mo palit sila og mga ingredients nila. Anak gid sa mga tindahan nga mo issue ninyo og resibo.
Yes.
Pwede ba na, sir?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, that's perfectly understandable because right now you are looking at your business in terms of its size only. Gamay naman akong business.
Yes,
no?
yes. Mhm.
Yes. But what happens if you want to expand your business? Like for example, your business is a brand. It has a name, right? So, if from the beginning your name is associated with sustainability, if the name of your business from the beginning is already associated with sustainability, then you can carry it over as your business grows. Okay? But of course, sakto si Ma'am Carmen, no, na at this stage, Ma'am God, what we look into when we buy our raw materials is convenience.
Yes.
Diba? Okay.
Yeah.
Ano naman ay-
Cheaper
Cheaper.
kaya ay resibo.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, that's true, right? So let's say
So you don't pay taxes.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
Nga, ano man na, yun. At this state, at this point in time, mauna sila ron.
Yes, but again, paying taxes is part of your social responsibility. That's part of the
Yes.
social aspect of sustainability.
Mm.
If you don't pay taxes, then that means the government falls short of tax revenues, which means that the government now will not be able to help poor businesses, for example. No? So if you look at it that way, okay, I'm a small business. I will appreciate any support from the government, right? Kung small business ka.
Yes.
But you have to ask yourself fairly, how can you
Are you
expect
supporting?
support from the government if from the start you're not even doing your share,
Yes.
right? So that's what I call the social aspect of sustainability. I mean, I agree with you. Kani mga small businesses, we don't see all these, big things. But,
Yes.
if you start thinking, reflecting, you will see na naaday impact ang akong business process, business practices, business decision, business actions sa society and sa environment. You don't see it every day, but if you think deeply, if you reflect, you will realize na you are actually making a contribution to the economy, to the society, and to the environment. Okay, you have an impact, no matter how small your business is.
I think mo common point nila, Sir Julius. Makita naman ako sila dire sa camera na si Armedio, si Lorena. Si Ma'am Sandria is mas exposed na siya karon ma'am no, sa parang bigger market niya. However, ang ilang so ano pag-attain ang sustainability and sustainable development kanang murag thinking sino medyo murag ni yango-yango na nga kanang gamay pa jud kaayo sila at this everyone is dreaming man jud to become big corporations or companies in the future pero murag unsay gagmay ka nga pamaagi, Sir Julius, na si Ma'am Remedios na ako'y mahatag ang part aron nga makita nga sustainable man akong business bisan ang uban mingon sila biko ra man ni akong giluto, mahal ra ni akong giluto, na uban nga namaligya lang ko og perfume, namaligya ko og panlaba, but how can I apply all those concepts sa ilang business? I think murag mo
Yeah.
ilang kabalakan.
Yeah. Well, look at it this way. Henry C. S.N. didn't start as a corporation, right?
Yeah.
Henry C. started as a shoemaker, a small
Yeah.
shoemaker. That was what, 40, 50
Yes,
years
shoemaker.
ago, right? So look at it. Look at yourself in that way. It's possible na kanang imong biko, ma'am, kanang imong kakanin, Ma'am Remedios, it could turn
Sandria, Juan Rea.
it could turn into a brand. It could turn into a name.
Bitaw, that's right. Sa gamay sa
Yeah,
inaudita na magsugod sa gamay.
yeah.
Or maybe they can start from the packaging.
Packaging, yes.
Oh, packaging. There you go.
I think we can relate it to them sa mga
Ah.
micro entrepreneurs karon ang
Kanang
packaging.
ilang mga plastic, no?
Plastic. Oh,
For example, kanang cakes on sa biko. First nabi ginay packaging involved.
Unsay gigamit nimo ron Ma'am Lorena sa imong packaging, ma'am, kana? Tong tan-awon daw.
Box
Kaya
na iya.
kanang usahay Ma'am Angie, kung ako gid siyang i-travel, ako siyang isod sa box. Pero kung diri ra sa silingan, ako ra ikuan og paper plate o cling wrap. Ana. Pero kung i-travel gid siya, isod na ko siya box or clear box.
Pero sa kanang imo nga gagmayng items, like naabi kay gagmayng items, plastic gihapon.
Yun.
Oo, plastic. Cling wrap niya, paper kanang murag kanang murag paper plate nga plastic lang gihapon sa ingan anak niya. Oo.
kay pwede man sa Ma'am Lorena, musulti ka na, okay. Kaning biko, ma'am, no? Biko? Or
Yeah. So, mga cakes na iya.
Yeah.
nakabutang sa plastic, no? So maybe one small thing that you can tell your customers is, dahil dong, pag gumanin yung kaon, ayaw mo pataka o labay sa plastic. Kay kani siya, kung ilabay lang niyo sa gutter, sa dumpings dan, buuan, buklag, ang sewage, magbahanta. There you go. There's your environmental contribution.
Yes.
But,
So, usahay po sir, nakaputos po ko sa akong buko cake o kanang kuan katong glass seal paper. Mura ako iputos akong i-wrapper niya, glass seal paper.
kunya, nasa ikuan, ma'am, nasa ibang plastic na toxic. So, make sure that ang atong biko, we don't use a low quality plastic that is toxic, because that can also affect the health of your customers. You probably don't say it, no? It's probably going to take 8 years for them to develop the disease from using the plastic. But somehow,
Ang baha, sir, ang baha. Makita man dayon.
True.
ang health sa inyong customers, that is also part of your social
Yes, social.
responsibility. Even though your business is small, at the same time, kung ang imong plastic is toxic or not safe to use, then you're actually causing a problem. I mean, you're the business. We don't realize it, but down the road, the business is potentially causing health problems sa customers.
Nakahisgot man jud si Sir Julius, Ma'am Carmen, about plastic. So maybe sa atong mga kasibya, you can review our episode atong types of plastics gani for packaging, kay makahibaw ta ato asa gid ang kaning reusable nga magdugay gud siya, and also dili siya makadaot no sa health sa atong customers. Nami ana nga episode dinhi sa Sibia TV. So kung ganahan mo nga mo check, pwede kay diha ta makasugod nga ma-sustainable, maka-contribute ta, Ma'am Carmen. No?
Small steps.
Yes.
You don't have to think big. Small steps, baby steps. Correct.
Si Ma'am Remedios to, ato pong pangumustahan, Ma'am Remedios, unsa po'y imong mga kaning products, unsay butanganan nimo, Ma'am Daan, kung baligya ka.
Ay, kuhan ako, Miss Angie, plastic, kanang cling wrap.
Pareha mo, sige.
Katanin ako kay mga box. Naay gagmay nga box, napoy dagko. Muna ako niya tabsad, kanang 500 ml, 750, minana. Puli-pulihon lang ako, depende sa order, daghan bagdili.
Kasi
Okay lang
pwede
na
nasultan
ito,
ang
say,
saging
we're
sa dahon. Dahon sa saging.
Oh,
ang pwede naman sa na siya kay ma-recycle man sa na nimo siya, magamit man na nimo siya. Ang problema sa plastic ng one use ra ni labay nimo dayon to. Pero pwede if you can eliminate plastic, mas maayo gid mo eliminate sa plastic. Mabita na ang sa Coca-Cola. You remember one time I read in the newspaper nga Coca-Cola gi-remove nila from the market ng ilahang katong bottled waters.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Plastic.
Gi-remove nila just to save the environment. Kaya nakita man jud nga bottled waters are all over the earth yun kanang no niya sus maka-cause gyud og flood niya ug maadto sa tubig mo adto sa sea makakuan sa ato ang water natural resource nato sa tubig sa ato mga isda sa ato mga kuan makakuan gyud.
you know,
So mo na ilang gi-remove from market ng ilahang bottled water.
that's true, ma'am. Okay. In Australia and Canada, ang bottled water is already banned in schools.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you will not be able to buy bottled water in school canteens. For example, sa Australian countries, they want to discourage people from drinking from bottled water. Okay. Ang ilang argument, limpyo man ang tubig sa gripo. You can drink the tap water. So you don't have to buy bottled water because you don't. What we don't see is that bottled water actually has a very large environmental impact. Okay, ang tubig nagigamit, plus of course ang plastic bottles. So
When it's exposed to sunlight, murag na ay chemical reaction ang plastic. So makakuan sa ato ang health.
Yeah.
So that's why even at home we do not use bottled water. We have our
Tumbler.
tumbler. Yeah, I have a tumbler too.
Kabisa na balik tumbler.
tumbler gyud tumbler. Even if we go out, in case we eat out, nagmagdagin ni among tumbler.
Ako lang i-clarify ang katubitang sustainability reporting. Actually, sakto mo, ang sustainability reporting really generally applies sa mga big companies, big corporations. And it's not fair to subject small businesses to sustainability reporting. That's why, katong presentation ako ganyan, katong guidelines from the Philippine Securities and Exchange Commission, that is really for big companies, for publicly listed companies. However, if you like, you can also do your part. You don't have to, di man ta magsabit ang sustainability report man God required na sa mga big companies.
Big companies, yes.
But we don't have to submit it. But it doesn't mean that because we don't submit it, we just don't do anything. You can still do our little part. So, like kaning straw. I think it's in Cebu City or Mandawi City, no? Kanang dili na allowed ang straws, no? Okay, so which means the government has realized that these straws can plug the sewage system. Mo na makakos og baha kay kung ba isang pasilang ilabay, no? So karon gi-block kanang gi-ban na nila ang using straws, no? So that is part of what we call sustainability action. Okay, who would have thought 10, 15, 20 years ago na ang mag-manufacture sa straw will eventually go out of business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In other countries, they already banned the use of plastic bags in grocery shopping. Kita nga rin, I think, na uban, we have, nagamit yan po ka ng plastic bag, na uban na magamit na grocery bags. But what I'm saying here is, when you talk about sustainability, it's really a collective action para makita din natin ang benefit, for everyone.
Si Sir Boyet, Sir Boyet, unsa po yung packaging na nimo sir kung mag-deliver ka sa grocery, nakaisgot man gid Sir Julius o grocery items.
Plastic gyapon.
Ile naman mo'y na may bolsita nga kuan gigamit for our delivery plus katong mga pwede pa
Eco bags.
dili share katong eco bag nga nay kuan but katong bolsita nga brown bag. And then katong mga cartoons nga pwede pa mabalik og gamit mo among gi kargahan sa among groceries.
Pwede naman gyapon ka magdakag imuhang eco bag katong mga dagko bitaw kana sa mga shopping nga inigabot nimo didto ikuan lang nila i-unload lang nila and then you get back your kuan.
Pwede po.
You get back your eco bags.
Para less plastic na ta.
So, yes. So, maybe, dili man kaayo na ito mabuhat, no? Kay, iyon pa ni Sir, parang yun na sa mga dagko. Dili yun na ito mabuhat. Pero we will be conscious sa inig pamalit na ito. No, inig pamalit na ito. Kailangan conscious po ta nga. Kani, fair trade niya product, kani, mga nga product, kay kuan, anak bitaw, conscious sa ta sa atong pagpamalit. Para sa matabangan sa nato ang mga tao nga nagbuhat ng sakto. Yeah. So kita maghinay-hinay lang ta ginagmay good nga atong mabuhat, and then when everybody is doing the ginagmay it will have a good a big effect na sa ato ang
I think what is important is ang awareness.
Awareness.
And of course, eventually the commitment. So, ako po I tend to care so much about the environment na I am careful about my actions and decisions na dili siya maapektuhan ng environment. For example, kanang sa balay bitaw, no? Kanang bitaw ang toilet, di ba? Kada gamit, flash, no? So what I do, I have na ako'y kabuk reserva. Okay, kung mangihi ko, hindi ko mo-flash dayon. Mahimula na ako, bubuhan na ako sa katabog na tubig. Which is, ang quantity sa water na gigamit na ako, dili ang tibuok tangke sa kasilyas, no? Which means, kada gamit, flash. Nagabantayan na ako, pagkas na is tubig. Kunya, secondly, dali sa badawat ang imong kuhan. Ang toilet, ang imo, kaya
ang flash.
Yeah. So, himo na ako, mo-flash ko, every 3 times ko na mo gamit. Kung kuhan lang ako, mangihi lang. So, mabutan lang kong tubig, aron dili ba ang ako lang bubuang tubig. So, that is my own way of showing my respect and care for the environment. I am mindful of the water that I am using in the house. Okay, when I think about it, we take for granted ang water, no? So,
even when brushing the teeth,
yes,
sir, no?
But imagine there is no water in your house. Think about it. Think along that line. So that's basically my mindset. That's why in my presentation, it would be mindset.
Okay. Si Sir Devin I think nakahisgot na pagkagana Sir Devin katong mogamit og daon sa saging, no?
Saging. Kung ako gani as customer, no, mas appealing pa na ako. It's environment friendly in a good taste pa. Mas nindot pa gani na nga packaging tanawo, no? Murag mo appreciate sa ta kay murag at least murag in fact ang trend karon daghan na biasad ang ubang nga kabanday ko the shift na gyud.
Yes.
Nga nag-try sila environment friendly kay murag ila sa di-advertise as murag to add value bitaw sa ilang product. May sa okay, I'm using environment friendly. Magka-presyo pa nun sila mas mahal kay murag para sa kanang mga environment conscious nga tao, mas ganahan sila maka-appeal sila sa inganang market, no?
Yes.
Marketing tool said, no?
Marketing na nila. It adds value man.
Yes.
Makatabang
so, even remedies mo kagamit naman sila like biko, pwede na ba sila mo start og kanang pinaingana packaging.
Yes. Actually sa una di ba ang packaging gyud ana sa makakanin kay mo gamit man jud tag mga nandan nga resources like kanang dahon sa saging, even sa kanang mga banana cue kan adto sir makita pa jud ko nga naa pa jud dahon sa saging, eventually ni shift man gud to plastic mo nang magdaanad na pud ang tao nga plastic na. Yes, pero okay gyud ka itong dahon sa saging. Murag
tinuray gani no, mas nindot pa gani no pag pang Instagram
Oh, nindot og presentation. Picture na nimo dito, napakay
Doon ang
dahon-dahon.
ng mga plastic bags. Parehas ang tanan.
Oh. But makahinumdum mo ko sa una Sir Deb kay ako gikan man jud ko probinsya na sa Sargao. Daghan may saging pod niya. Sa elementary na anay mga mamaligya per classroom. Then
Okay.
nakahibaw di ko nga katong tigbaligya namo og saging mupalit sad sila og dinaghan tinumpi gani nga dahon
Yeah.
sa saging kay mao ilang gamiton and actually they are helping kay,
Naman sa nibuligya din ni karon sa okay na.
nya makatabang pa jud ka ba kay imo gutong gipalit ang dahon sa
Yeah.
saging actually dili na ang kung walay mo palit ato wala man jud to use magpaabot
Mag-easy
na
lang.
lang magpaabot na lang man to sila nga murag mo wither and then
Malaya.
Himalaya imo na lang imo nang silhigon pero nindot na ba nga makatabang silang packaging makatabang pa ta atong mga tao nga in a way na apoy gamit
Correct.
ng dahon.
Makatag og income no sa
Yeah.
mga buligya o dahon sa
Yeah, that's saging. Yeah.
Balik na Ma'am Remedios. Bitaw. It checks sa dato si Ma'am Sandria kay out of all sa atong mga Ken winners, I think si Ma'am Sandria is thinking bigger gid no nga murag maka-import siya ngadto sa gawas. Actually she's doing na gani mga marketing strategies nga mas mudako ang iyahang market. Ma'am Sandria, makahatag og update na mo sad ma'am and ma-relate pa din mo sa topic ni Sir Julius.
For me, with regards sa ako ang delicacy, since karon hinahinay naman po siya ni bounce back, nagkuha na gyud kog somebody kanang freelancer na sales manager o para masud na siya sa mga establishment. And then so far so good naman, soon mo open na musud na siya sa kanang Alturas in Bohol and then in Colonnade Mall, yeah. In Metro guys, gahot na namin for the barcodes for the delicacies. And then for co-answer during the last year na pandemic, the lockdown, nag-diversify man me. For this time na po, nag-pack meals me since naghinahinay na po ang mga big companies na in their kanang mga events, mag-buffet na sila, kanang cocktail. So ako manggihapon gikuha kay I mean satisfied sila sa food ning nagkuha na pud mi karon og catering sir events and styles kani siya. Sandria. Yeah.
Okay. Actually,
And then
sorry. Go ahead, ma'am.
na ako'y mga bag-o nga products like kanang piyaya in various flavors. Nahurot lang ang amo ang classic na flavor. This is the choco. Kini sa ang ubi and then our barquilius kay naapod ang amo ang previous nga kanang ginasupplyan sir for export, nagpa-develop sad sila og other flavors like pandan and ubi for the barquilius. They export this to Japan. Kami ang source. So far kugi-kugi lang sir, wala pa jud kaayo na kan. And for me lang para lang dili mabad ang trabaho ako mga workers and then maka-sustain, makabayad sa mga bills. Kana lang so far sir ang update sa akong business this time.
Actually, ma'am, you have satisfied the economic pillar. Kaya naka-provide man kag income sa imong workforce during the pandemic. And also you mentioned diversify, no?
Yes, sir.
Sa imong business. That's actually one of the principles of sustainable business. Diversity. You're being able to, move from one product to another, or maybe include products in your business just to keep the business afloat and provide income sa imong mga tao, sa imong staff. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So those little things you don't see it, but that's actually part of sustainability discussions. No, we don't look at it that way, but when you think about it, si Ma'am Sandria, she was able to support her staff during the pandemic. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Which means that is good. Dapat mo maka-receive ka award sa sa City
Actually,
Hall,
sir.
sa City Government.
Actually, sir, nominated ko for the whole Region 7 sa DTI for their Zero
Ah.
to Hero. And then just last June 25, you are awarded sa Quest Asia. Man ata to is Asia.
Siya quest.
Q Asia ba day? Q Asia.
Ma'am, napildi pa nimo ang Jollibee. I'm sorry,
These are
ang McDonald's. Kaya ang McDonald's nagsira man sa Ayala.
Ginagmay na good, sir. Di pa yung nagugnay, ginagmay ginan siya, sir. Makakaon, kabayad
Oh.
og bills niya.
Yeah.
Ay,
but
ala lang,
ma'am,
sir.
Yeah, actually, ma'am, your thinking is nalipay lang ka, makakaon, nakabayad ng bills. But what you don't,
Makasweldo.
but what you have really, yes, what you have really done, ma'am, was you were able to help others.
Kana lang pod mo. Good yun na ako mission, sir. Malipay ko pag mapunan. Imagine from 4 employees before the pandemic and then right now they are all almost 15 including the on-calls. Oh. Lami lang feeling inigsweldo nila, sir, ba maglipay kay
Nalipay
sila.
sila. Oh.
Mangita ako guwi nga maka sales niya. Right now, sir, we're also supplying sa kanang vaccine center sa ilang mga food here in Minglanilla.
Okay.
Yeah. Gitapsad mi ma-provide sa food sa mga health workers. Anak lang sa Anak lang sa, sir.
Ang packaging
But
mo,
I'm enjoying.
ang imong packaging sa isod og kuan san dahon saging.
Mo na mong plano para sa mo ang kuan ka ng mga rice in bowl supposedly, pero among himuon pareha bito anang kuan, sir, mga sana siya giputos og saging ya na mga isudan kay napod ni open sa FLC Center for the mga call center agents.
Actually, dunay ko naantay dinner kani adto nga mo na iputos og kanang kanon niya nasa uban ang nasa ibabaw ang kanang sudan niya iputos og kuan
Dahon.
putos dahon saging.
Kana na ma'am?
Limot lang kung sa tuloy tawag anong food.
Putos sa ilang
Somewhere
tawag.
Mindanao.
Sa Zamboanga man na Zamboanga na gikan.
Mindanao na nga delicacy.
Yeah.
Si murag si kuan ato Connie Tolentino naghimo ana ambot unsa na to ha. Anyway, so
Pater.
mo na sila. Ha?
Pater?
Yeah.
Name.
Pastel is the correct. Pwede siya
Oh, pastel. Tama. Pastel. Chicken pastel.
Oo na siya.
Chicken pastel.
Kana, environment friendly kay na siya.
Pwede na sa siomay ni Barakil.
Ito, ma'am. Pwede na, ma'am.
Naamoy na kuan. I mean, I'm just curious in terms of feedback sa kuan ba sa presentation. I know that most of you still consider yourself small business, but somehow did you find the presentation helpful, or did it give you some level of awareness or ideas?
Eye opener, sir.
Yeah,
Eye opener.
opener, yeah. That was really the goal of the presentation.
Yeah.
They're doing the things, pero was laki ba nga mao na din na ilang dipuhat.
Yeah.
Yes. And in that sad, Sir Julius, because they're guided ba to dream bigger and mas dako ga ilang goal kay of course we all start small man jud tanan nato nga mga Ken winners din but hinay-hinay ba naa sa direction. So karon pa lang kung ganahan jud mo as big as the big companies, let's start right. Ana siguro, let's start right, let's start small, and ang mga good practices siguro sa mga lain-lain nga business, maybe we can look into that. Natanaw na to applicable ba siya sa atoa or dili, and maka-contribute po ta sa community somehow sa atong business.
Sir Julius, nabanay ka ng mura o gauge or para ma-measure ni mo yung sustainability ba?
There are indicators to measure your sustainability. So I went through some of them during the presentation. Pero in terms of actual preparation sa report, again, I brought this up from Ma'am Carmen Ganian, no? Na if you like, we can have a series 2. Preparation ba, mga checklist. When I think about it, kanimang sustainability reporting really applies for big corporations. But if you would like to learn, I would be happy to do another series on that.
Itaw, bisag mga checklist lang.
Or mga checklist, yes. Or questionnaire, or checklist, yes. So natin mga indicators to measure the extent of sustainability.
Nindot na.
Uh,
Murag ready na si Sir Boyet.
Ito man.
Murag ready na ka na Sir Boyet, nangandam na ka, makomply ba? Tanang indicators.
You have to think na ang sustainability is really a marketing.
Yes, marketing tool gid kaayo.
It can promote your brand, it can promote your reputation, it can promote the trust in your company. So, regardless of the size, each company has a brand. Bisag small or big large, ang company nimo na reputation. Bisag nagmaligya lang kag Biko. Remember, kung ang tao musulti, iyang Biko kuan kanang tamis sa kaayo, or ang iyang Biko, for example, I like buying budbud, no? Yan, nabantayan ako, kaning akong palitanan sa una. Sa una, maay pa siya, pero over the years, nabantayan ako, iyan naman sa gulan o kuan, rice. So, makuan man nimo, ma-detect, ma-taste man nimo. So, what I did was, I stopped buying from her. And then I told her, kanang ma'am, kanang, siguro naman nimo, daghan, ma-feel naman ako ang kanon, dili naman ang pilit.
Lahi good.
Yeah, di na siya mutingog, pero siya, sige kaya pa siya baligya, pero she lost me as a customer, she lost my family, kay, dili na mo palit niya, kay, kung ba, nadaot ang iyang reputation, because, and customers will know that. So, even though it's a small, nagbaligya lang siya good, but because she wasn't doing it the right way, so she lost customers. So remember, on sustainability, it's part of your marketing. It promotes your reputation and in your brand.
One for Miss Angelo. Speaking
Yes,
of ng environmental nga aspect ba, and kanang pagkuan sa tuwang carbon footprints, di ba, no? Gusto na kay karon ng kanang magpa-deliver na lang ta. Nagkauna-una dahil ko kay sa una na, before pa to nag-pandemic, nato yung mga group of bikers nga sila yung mudawat og delivery sa mga tindahan, no? Kung nakay parahatod nga bisag subri lang or gamay nga putos, sila to, but karon murag wala na ako kita, mas nindot og nagyapon silang karon, no? Kay murag nakahuna na to ba nindot ay mag-bike to ta para mapakuha ang carbon footprints.
Yeah.
Less. Sanang aso-aso nila.
Pollution, greenhouse gas.
Pollution.
Yeah.
Less pollution. Exercise pa nila.
Oh. Okay, so naano pa ba may follow-up questions gikan sa atong mga winners? So I think nasabtan yun nato pag-ayo unsa ning sustainability sa atong discussion karong hapon. Sa ato pasalamatan si Sir Julius, no, and
Thank you.
we know this will not be the last time kay mabalik na pud siya mga activia pohon sa pag-discuss na pod og lain nga topic. Apan so di pa ta maghuman sa ato ang tuluman karong hapuna. Nasa tay mga pangutana alang sa ato ang mga naminaw o nagtan-aw karon sa atong social media platforms aron makadaog sad mo sa atong papremyo. So nanakoy kopya sa atong mga questions. I hope nagtan-aw mo karon live aron nga mauna mo sa paghatag sa inyong tubag. So una maka-answer mo through our live Facebook karon, Facebook na streaming. Pwede mo comment diha sa inyong mga tubag. Og ikaduha, pwede sad mo maka-text nako sa ako ang number. Palig lang ko butang sa inyong pangan og sa inyong tubag 0949-045-5481. Again, ako number is 0949-045-5481. Pwede ra gid usa ka pangutana inyong tubagon. Ang style aning atong mga tigpaminaw, Ma'am Carmen, tubagon nila ang tulog para kung nanay nakatubag sa number 1, sakto sa sila sa number 2. Daog sa sila. Sige, so kana sa mauna lang nato nga mga kasibya. So atong i-share atong screen aron makahibaw na sila sa pangutana. So makita na ba? Ato isang kadakon ha. Okay, so mo na yung mga questions na to alang sa karong hapuna. Again, kung nakalimot mo sa pipila ka mga tubag, you can review our episode this afternoon. Ato man ang paabdo no alas 3 sa hapon, human sa ato ang live video, pwede mo maka-review and i-check ninyo asang dapita sa discussion ni Sir Julius ang tubag sa mga question dinhi karon. Nga makita ninyo sa atong screen. So una, why is the concept of sustainability relevant in any business operation? Ano mahinungdanon man gyud ning concept sa sustainability sa bisag unsang matang sa business operations, madako o gamay man mo nga business. Ikaduha, what are the principles or guidelines that can make your business operations sustainable? So unsa man nga mga principles o guidelines ang makatabang ninyo o makapahimo sa inyong business operations nga sustainable. Og ang ikatulo nga pangutana, unsa man yang indicators o measures of a sustainable business. Again, kinitanan nga questions ang tubag ani naa sa ato ang presentation kaganiha. So kung nag-take down notes mo earlier, pwede na mong muhatag sa inyong tubag karon pa lang daan. Pero namoy nalimtan, pwede ninyo i-review ang ato ani nga episode for this afternoon. Again, pwede mo mo-comment sa atong live video or mo-text sa akong number, mga kasibyan. Malipay gyud mi kung muhatag mo sa inyong tubag. Pero ang mga kauban nato or nga KNN winners, di sa mo ka-answer karon. Kana tug opportunity ang mga naminaw nato through Facebook, YouTube, ug uban pa nato nga social media platform. So karong higayon na mga kasibya ato asa nga pasalamatan nga ato ang bisita karong hapon. First time niya dinhi sa Mag-Negosyo Ta Bai ug sa USC-KNN, pero walay kakulba, prepared jud kayo si Sir Julius. Salamat kay Sir sa imong pag-uban namo karong hapon.
Salamat, sir.
So nami ihatag alang nimo Sir, Ma'am Carms.
Thank you very much, sir. Mani among certificate of appreciation para nimo, sir, for sharing with us your talent and time, no, on sustainable business and sustainability reporting. Yeah, we hope. Napagong ko galit. We hope. I believe ang atong mga KNN winners are a step higher in knowing what sustainability reporting is. So, nalipay sila. Unya, ang naghinaot ko nga ang naminaw pud nato are also happy and are also learn from your lecture or your presentation today. And we hope we can have you again on November 12, November 13. November 13. That's the earliest date that's open for resource speakers, sir. Okay, pag-unaman yung pang, no, you know that, no, I invited you kanu sa man to mga April pa man siguro to na ako taka na invite, and then because I do not want unprepared trainings without sessions. Niya mo na nindot kayo ang atong session ron. Nindot kayo ang atong mga sessions so far. No, wala pa ko complaints at mga resource speakers. Unya, I'm happy also that we have you now as our resource speaker. And as long as there is CBA TV supporting KNN, we will always be asking for your help to become a resource speaker. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Siguro, ma'am, kung naamoy suggested topic ng atong audience karon, so paibaw lang si Ma'am Carmel, and then si Ma'am is going to communicate to me.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much again, Sir Julius, Sir Lampag, as ato ang guest karong hapon.
Doctor.
This time, atoan na pong hatag higayon atong KNN winners sa pag-auhag sa atong mga viewers nga mopalit sa ilang mga produkto, mo patronize sa ilang business sa atong tagsa-tagsaon. Naman dito sa ibabaw, unahon nato si Ma'am Remedios. Ma'am Remedios.
Hapon, balik. O kisa itong ganahan o siomay o kakanin. o ganahan mo order, mao ni ang akong number 0928-979-4978.
Balik ka
Ice
palihog,
cream
ma'am.
mo. O, anak kay ice cream?
Wala ang ma'am, ay ice cream day ma'am. Pero dili tayo ko, kung naghimo kay ice cream karon ma'am, murag depende na sa order.
Unsa nga produkto, ma'am, ang everyday nagsige ka baligya gyud?
Kakanin, miss. Kakanin, sumay.
Kakanin og siomay. Available ra ni anytime kung mo contact
Oo.
sila nimo Ma'am Remedios. Ang imong ice cream, ma'am, unsa man ni pila sila kaadlaw nga mo contact nimo aron maka order
Kay
sila.
kung sa'kin, maghimo na ko ka lang 50 ka glass, kay dugay man mahurot. Wala ako rin ilimit usahay. Ya mag-stock ra ko diri gamay, ya mauhurot na sa diha na sa ko maghimo.
Okay. So sa pagkakaroon kadaghanan is makakanin gud ang presyo nimo Ma'am Remedios aron ma-aware sa datong mga naminaw ron.
Ang akong price, akong siomay karon magani mahal-mahal na gid ang baboy. Tag 6 na siya. Na ang kakanin na 5, napoy 6.
Pero kumusta karon ma'am? Ikaw mo directly na maligya or naana pod kay mga laing tindahan or naka resellers?
Na ako reseller, miss. Mao lang, reseller niya, orders ra pod.
So base na yung mga ganahan po di mahimong resellers, i-contact lang ninyo si Ma'am Remedios, no? Alang siyang produkto, Ma'am Remedios, palihog bigbalik sa imong contact number, ma'am.
0928-979-4978.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Remedios. And hopefully, magkita-kita na po na balik sunod. Salamat kay sa pag-uban na mo orong hapon. Gikan ni mo, Ma'am Remedios, at to ni Ma'am Lorena. Ma'am Lorena.
Hi, Ma'am Angie. O kanang sa mga taga Norte or Danao, Liloan, Lasyon, kung kinsa mo diya ganahan mo order of cakes and pastries, kanang mga fondant, birthday, kanang any occasion, pwede rami mo cater. Just contact us through Facebook or Messenger or text. My Facebook is Lorena Tiopis and Messenger 2 niya. Ang akong FB page is Lorena and Rodrigo Cakes and Pastries. Pwede ra mo tanaw din ha. Then akong contact number is 0943-6886-966. Nya mo range na siya og 650 to above depende sa gidakon sa cake, pero choco moist na siya. Nya kung chiffon cake na siya sa mga 600, pero 10 inches round na siya ang 600 up. Nasa mi fondant, pinaka less na mo nga fondant is 1.5. Nami bag-o karon wa nako mahatag ni mo Manji kato kapitan ang ni order niya mo usab na siya order bisikleta na sad kay ginakauyon gid siya.
So nindot na ma'am kay na kay repeat order. So aron dali ka ma-contact Ma'am Lorena Tiopes ang iyang Facebook account mga kasibiya. So mo ni mga sample nga mga cakes kaning gipakita nato karon sa screen, mo ni mga sample nga mga produkto, mga designs sa cakes ni Ma'am Lorena. So kung namo sa Northern Cebu, way problema kay mas duol-duol Ma'am Lorena. Ang asa may kinalayan nga imong gi-cater ma'am? Karon
Nakahatod ko Mandawi Pacific Mall.
Dito sa North ma'am.
North Danao siya. Nay kaisa da Carmen.
Okay. Basta maabot na kagdaan bantayan sunod. Mo ni mga sample ni nga mga products ni Ma'am Lorena no, so kanay TikTok karon panahon sa social media uso jud kay ni ana. So daghan kaayog kapilian, pwede mo kamoy magbuot unsay gusto niyo nga design. Contact lang na ninyo si Ma'am Lorena kay kun amoy ganahan ma-achieve gyud ba nindot ni kay customize ang ilahang nga mga products. Okay. So Blackpink kana. So again, i-check lang ninyo ang inyong page ma'am. Sige ba mag-update sad Ma'am Lorena?
Murag wala na ko ma-update or Angie.
So maybe kato mo i-update or makita sa dato ang mga kasibiya unsay mga bago po ninyo nga produkto og inyong mga bagong designs. Thank you Ma'am Lorena.
Thank you Ma'am Angie.
Good afternoon. Sunod adto ta ni Ma'am Sandria. Ma'am Sands?
Muted.
Anak kami. Katong ganahan magpadala og pasalubong sa inyong mga relatives abroad or anywhere sa inyong mga friends and even sa inyong mga family, available na atong products sa Shell and then sa Gaizano, and you can have your order also through our FB page Sandria and through text 0943-828-4163.
So, i-search lang na ninyo ang maong Facebook page sa Dumon Sandria aron maka-order mo siyang product. Thank you kay ma'am and see you next time.
Thank you, Ma'am Angie. Yes.
Thank you kayo sa imong paghatag og update namo sa imong business and congratulations sa nimo ma'am.
Thank you.
Kauban natong KNN winners and the last but not the least, Anita ni Sir Boyet. Sapong Sir Boyet.
Hey, Miss Angie. Miss Angie, allow me to share my website.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sa mga nagtanaw din nato Runo, mo ni ato ang website, maytindahan.net. No, we started in 2009 sa Agi sa KNN, no. We deliver groceries that time ang mga kasagaran customers kay mga OFWs, no, order sila through sa ato ang website, din ilang ipa-deliver sa ilahang pamilya nga naa diri sa Cebu. Deliver ta from gikan sa north, maabot ta sa Liloan, and then sa Picas po nga side, maabot ta sa Talisay and sunod na Minglanilla. Minglanilla, maabot tag Minglanilla og deliver. And then we started as groceries, no, natay mga canned goods, condiments, mga noodles. But karon ato na pong gi-open ang ato ang website for vendors, no. You can become our vendors po na mo i-click lang yun ng how to become a vendor nga link sa ato ang site. And then ingana nira ka dali ang pag-register sa ato ang website. Okay, we are using Facebook login facilities sa ato ang website para ma-filter nato ang mga mo join gyud sa ato ang website, no, dili ka nang magama-gama lang og email address. So kung imo nang i-click ang Facebook nga button, automatic na kang maka-create og account sa maytindahan.net. And then if ganahan ka maligya through our website, idig makalagin na ka, i-redirect ka niya sa ito ang sa imuhang dashboard, which is ito lang ka sa go to vendor dashboard para maka-create ka sa imuhang vendor nga account sa maytindahan.net. Free ra ang pagsugod para ka mahimong vendor sa maytindahan.net, no? And then mo ni ang porma sa dashboard sa mga vendors, no. Nakoy sample nga vendor ani, so you can add your products, you can manage orders, you can create coupons kung ganahan ka mohatag og discount sa imong products. Pwede po ka mo create og blog na pwede ka maka-create og post. You can view reports sa imong sales. Napoy review ang ato ang mga customers makahatag pod og review sa imong products and services. And then if na nakaihalin, pwede ra nimo i-withdraw, no, mo request ra kag withdraw sa imong sales. And mo ni ang ato ang dashboard sa ato ang mga vendors. So sayon ra kayo ang pag-join as vendor.
So improve na kayo ang website ni Sir Boyet and kuan na mas friendly na gid siya dili lang sa mga mupalit sir no, but also sa mga vendors. So daghan na ba kag mga natay mga KNN winners na sir nga na maligya na pugsugod nimo? Naa
sila naay mga KNN winners nga ni approach nato. Ang peanut butter ni Jetta. Nana sa may tindahan. But sa mga KNN winners, no, you can just kanang dili kayo dali madaot nga products, pwede ra ihatod ninyo inyong products sa amuan, then we can fulfill na the order. Kami na lang mo fulfill.
Okay. So ang pamaagi sir kung naay mga mo order through website gihapon or kan message sa Facebook alang sa uban nga dili pa kaayo kahibaw mo navigate sa website.
Kuan ra gyud siya Miss Angie no. Most of the time website ra gyud ato ang mga orders.
So kung na lang sila queries, pwede sila message sa inyong Facebook page kay naaraman didto pod tanan.
Yes, Miss Angie, and then mobile friendly ra po ng atong website. So if first time ka mo open sa atong website sa using mobile no kung nakay Chrome or Safari or Opera nga browser sa imong phone, naray button dito nga ganahan ba ka i-install na lang nimo ang may tindahan sa imong mobile phone para dili na ka mo balik-balik open sa imong browser.
Okay. Gi-improve gyud ni Sir Boyet og tuyo. Alang natong tanan mga kasibya. So katong naay panginhanglanon sa groceries or na may gusto i-surprise, padalhan yung grocery items dito, contact mo or search lang ninyo ang mytindahan.net. Thank you kay Sir Boyet for sharing sa imo hapod nga products. So this time mga kasibya ato sang pasalamatan di ay ang ato ang tanang bisita nga ni uban nato karong hapon dinhi sa ato ang tulumanon. And of course, ato pong pasalamatan atong mga partners and also mga sponsors nato sa atong program karong hapon. Sir Devin?
Yeah. So magpasalamat sa ato ang mga program sponsors, ang Bayanihan Champions, BBC Prince Stop ug ang Upascore. Sa ato ang mga program partners, ang University of San Carlos School of Business and Economics, USC-SBE Alumni Association, Department of Labor and Employment Region 7, DOST ug Sibia TV. Of course, salamat sa tanan listeners niya. Angie, ato sa invite usab ang mga tao nga mo-appeal sa KNN Season 16. Pwede na sila mo text sa 0917-322-0868 or pwede sila mo chat sa akong messenger, Devin Go. So once again, nagdawat ang applicants niya virtual na ni tanan ato ang interview sa business plan training session, even the site visit. Ato na ni virtual niya, flexible kanya ato ang schedule karon. So grab this opportunity while flexible pa kay amo ang schedule karon. Daghang salamat.
Daghang kayong salamat Sir Devin, and of course alang sa tanan nato diha nga makasibya, please follow and like our page and channel no alang sa atong mga programs, and of course aron makasubay mo sa tanang episodes nato sa Mag-Negosyo Ta Bai. So alang sa atong Facebook mga kasibya inyo ming makita live man ta dinhi sa Sibia TV. So i-search lang na ninyo Sibia TV, magawas na kanya mo ang profile photo, mo pud ni ang among cover photo alang sa Sibia TV nya. Share and promote our page sa uban pod nato nga mga kaigsuonan. Also for nagtanaw og YouTube na may uban nga wala pa gyapon Facebook account aron medyo layo daw sila sa stress, so pwede gyapon mo makita ug makadungog namo through our channel sa Sibia TV. Search lang niyo Sibia TV, kamatuoran masabtan na diha pod atong mga episodes no sa ato ang mga programs aron nga mahatagan sa mog update din lang sa pagnegosyo apil na gani sa balita sa mga kasibya. So, mag-uban-uban na sadta next week, matag adlaw nga Sabado mga kasibya. Gikan sa alas 12 sa udto hangtod sa alas 2 sa hapon, makat-on na ta, makatabang pa ta sa daghan kay nato nga makaigsuonan nga naningkamot sa pagpadako silang negosyo, and of course, nasa tay mga papremyo din hina sa ato ang tulumanon. Daghang salamat sa tanan natong nagtan-aw, namina og miuban nato sa lain na pod natong topic this afternoon. Sangan sa tumakaubanan sa Department of Labor and Employment din sa Central Visayas, sa University of San Carlos, ug kami din sa Sibia TV. Ako si Angie Saniel, Mag-Negosyo Ta Bai.
Thank you.